What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So, yep, I got one by Raylikesunshine and the right-wing pick-me epidemic. Let's listen in on this video. There we go.
It's about picking things, picking flowers, picking noses, picking me, ice picks, ear picks, me picks, cherry picks, those picks. Okay, you get the idea. This video is about pick-me's. Conservative pick-me girls confuse me. On one hand, they're clearly very talented in knowing how to build an online fan base, and also the subtle art of rage baiting. But on the other hand, they just say the quirkiest things sometimes.
I think it should be state by state.
Of sexual abuse. Okay, why?
That's fine. I think if everyone in a state wants something, go ahead and have it.
So if everyone in Alabama wanted slavery back, you'd be okay with that?
Sure. If everyone in the state wants it, go ahead.
Huh?
Anyways, ever since the rise and fall of Pick Me Pearl, there has been a slew of content creators that are vying to take her place. And just like the sequels of Fast and Furious, every single one is doing their best to outdo the original.
The feel when we control your bodies. Hey, bitch, we control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again.
Look, besides the obvious rage bait, I just want to take some time to appreciate the absurdity of this statement. Like, you want men to control your body.
By drawing daily sketches, you can develop discipline, improve your skills, and foster new ideas. It serves to relieve stress,
relieve stress.
Girl, I can't even control my own body sometimes. Telling a man to control your body is like telling a dog to drive a car. It doesn't know what the fuck it's doing.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to take a massive dump in the driver's seat. Plus, we did have a long period of time where men were in control of women's bodies. And we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. For example, ADHD is grossly underdiagnosed in women because all the tests we have for ADHD are made for men. And even then, it took me, a man, well over 2 decades to get a proper diagnosis. So I ask you, conservative pick-me woman that I'm about to introduce to you all, would you still trust a man with your body? Because I barely trust him with mine. All this to say, let's not forget who the real problem is. It's guys like this.
Giving birth is the only time a woman comes close to understanding what it's like when a man has a common cold. Okay?
Are you well?
Yeah. But that's not who we're talking about today. This is Emily Wilson, an alt-right anti-woke influencer whose job it is to post her frequent crash outs onto TikTok.
They're saying like all the college kids, boys, men, whatever they are trending conservative. And I'm like, yeah, duh. The left is so insane at this point that like if you're a dude, especially if you are a straight dude and put yourself in that category, like you're like insane. It's like, not only is it like, it's embarrassing.
It looks like there's a flag on the play. Jim, let's check out the replay.
So if everyone in Alabama wanted slavery back, you'd be okay with that?
Sure. If everyone in the state wants it, go ahead.
And here comes a referee.
Upon further review, we have determined that it is indeed cringe to think that states should regress slavery. The player will be ejected from the game expeditiously.
It's like, imagine being a man and being like, yeah, I'm a Democrat. It's like literally the most like...
Dude, do you know what the hell you're saying? I'm already having a headache listening to you. Jesus. Wow. So in Alabama, so if everybody wanted slavery, you're okay with that? Great. Yep. Make it make sense.
Feminine, embarrassing thing you could do.
Okay. Nobody asked. Okay. All jokes aside though, I didn't want to make this video in order to attack conservatives. And I do think that it is on some levels toxic to just say that conservative women are being controlled by their men or just aren't educated enough. The vast majority of conservative women are of sound mind and are fully capable of making their own decisions themselves. And saying that they don't have the ability to do so is just patronizing. But like I said, this video is not an attack on people who happen to be conservative. This video is an attack on people who spew rhetoric like this.
Funny because as a female, like look at the females compared to in right-wing politics compared to like left-wing, and like not only like in shape, super attractive, dressed well, And then also we have to like actually be smart and know our shit, because we're getting attacked 24/7. And then I'm just like, look at women on the left. Dear God. I mean, what country do you want to live in just visually at this point?
Hold for vibe check. The vibe is so hard. Women on the right have it so hard because we're so hot and beautiful and sexy. And women on the left are stinky, gross, poopy, probably pee and poo in bed and should probably take a shower. Ew. Anyways, it's so hard being attacked all the time for being a conservative woman. I never thought this was a reaction I would have from a woman, but when she says female,
Funny, because as a female, like, look at the female.
how about you stop looking at females and start looking at the road? Because you are driving me up a wall. And hopefully into it. This little clip says a lot about the values and priorities of this breed of pick-me girl. The only thing that is important to them is looks. It's one thing to have conservative values, but it's a whole other thing to put people down who don't agree with you in the most vapid and superficial way possible.
Yeah.
And you know that people who are actually confident in how they look would never even think about putting other people down. I spent like an hour trying to think of a skit to put here, but I'm pretty sure if you watch any Dar Man video, you'll get the gist. And the other funny part is they're just straight up wrong. How on earth can you say that about Beyonce or Olivia Rodrigo or Julia Roberts? In fact, my only regret in life is that I will never have a chance with Chappell Roan. You can take me hot to go, because I'll be in liberal hell. There are a few occasions where Emily gets so close to making the right assumption and is about to spit actual bars until she just ends up feeding this constant cycle of left versus right.
I see.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like, wow. Pick me, pick me, pick me, pick. Oh, God. Let's
so
see.
many women on TikTok. Of course, they're like liberal, complaining, like, oh my God, dating so hard in the city. All men are trash. All men are garbage. Blah, blah. It's like, do you think if you've been dating and you're in your late 30s and every man has had an issue with you or not wanting you, do you think at some point the common denominator might be you?
Look, I mean, she has a point here. If you're perpetually ending up in relationships that don't work out, the problem is probably you. Just like how if you feel like you're constantly being attacked, it's probably because you're constantly being a massive asshole. I don't know. Just a theory. But why is this a liberal versus conservative issue? I feel like this is more of a bipartisan issue. Just because you're conservative doesn't mean you won't have commitment issues and won't have trouble finding a partner. Just like because I'm liberal doesn't mean that I can only date liberal, late 30s, 6-foot tall goth chicks with tattoos and colored hair who will let me be Little Spoon. It definitely doesn't mean that. Definitely not. Stop making this a partisan issue. And do you know what else isn't a partisan issue? Today's sponsor, Bombas. So about 2 videos ago, Bombas sent me some socks to try out for myself. And after about a month and a half of wearing almost exclusively these socks, I can safely say that these are still the most comfortable socks I've ever worn. And I promise they are not paying me to say this. I mean, they are paying me, but not specifically to say this. After essentially using these day in and day out for almost 2 months, there have been no signs of any tears, no signs of any holes, and no sign of any plushness going away. Even after I forgot them in the dryer for like 2 days. I keep doing that to all my socks. Maybe that's why I only have Bombas now. All I'm saying is, if you have people who are still in need of Christmas gifts, I guarantee that getting them some Bombas will knock their socks off. Literally, because they'll never want to wear any other sock. Not only do they have socks, but they also have slippers. They have t-shirts. They have underwear. I would have loved to try all of those, but honestly, I already spent all my money on socks. On top of having some kick-ass and comfortable clothing, Bombas will also make sure to donate a pair of socks to shelters for the unhoused for every pair you and your loved ones buy. Good job, Bombas. That really puts the Riz in Rizmas. Use my promo code Raylikesunshine for 20% off of your first purchase at Bombas. Thank you to Bombas for sponsoring today, and let's get back to the video.
Do you know how collectively all women across the internet have been like, we choose the bear? Okay, so what's the logic? So you choose the bear, okay, over the man being trapped. Wild. But you're okay with men in women's sports. You're okay with men in women's prisons. And you're okay with men in women's restrooms where there are women who are vulnerable and also children and little girls. So I don't, what's the logic behind that?
Well, looks like it's feeding time, Bestie. I'll be right back. Hey there, looking to buy some straw? Alright, all out. What do you mean all out? I mean, we're all out of straw. That woman over there bought them all.
I'm sorry, I am so tired of the tens of thousands of just hard floors online being like,
I'm going for her because he's gonna strip all of our rights away as a woman. I can't do that as a mom and a daughter.
What'd she need him for? I don't know. I don't ask questions. Okay, well, like, do you have, like, any other types of straw? Yeah, we just got these ones over there. Is this paper? Yep. Do you have the plastic ones? It's almost impressive how she managed to touch upon every single major strawman argument the right has in order to appeal to the small percentage of men who don't understand the man versus bear analogy. But for the sake of argument, let's actually go through and break down these semi-conscious regurgitations of what that one uncle said at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, before, yeah. I mean, she's seriously going, okay, all the right issues, and then she goes another direction. Yeah, I'm kind of having a headache with this.
Dinner. Trans women in women's sports. A recent study actually showed that trans women are actually at somewhat of a disadvantage when it comes to certain muscle groups and athletic abilities. Yes, there needs to be more research done, but the current evidence suggests that depending on the sport, cis women are not necessarily at a disadvantage. Next, trans women in prison. While there are statistics that indicate that individuals who identify as trans and get put in women's prisons may put other women there at a higher risk, additional studies are noted that transgender people themselves are also at risk in those prisons. In fact, data shows that transgender individuals are more at risk of harassment and victimization within the prison system, especially minorities. Next, trans women in bathrooms. Do you really think that if someone was intentionally trying to hurt someone, that a plastic sign telling them what gender the restroom was for is really going to stop them? Can we normalize not judging an entire group of people based on fear mongering and hypotheticals?
For the love of God!
What bothers me most about this new breed of pygmies is that it feeds off of sowing division for sowing division's sake. And this goes into a larger conversation about commentary and online content in general. Commentary itself thrives on negativity. And this is true for both the left and the right. Algorithms tend to boost posts and content with more engagement, and negativity tends to make people engage more. It's like this toxic cycle where we're all learning to be more negative and people are becoming more divided because the algorithm told us to do so. And it's not like I'm any better. I don't know what this video is going to be called yet, but it's not going to be happy because every time I try to make one that's happy, it just goes, hey, YouTube algorithm, what if I named my next video Sunshine with Puppies and Rainbows? Oh, sorry. Did you say something? Okay. What if I named it Having a Great Day? It's like you're whispering. I can't hear anything. You know what? Fine. I'm just going to name it the worst that I've ever seen on the worst side of the internet. Approved. Next video, please. So it is actually really interesting when I see these younger conservatives discover this fact and start radicalizing their content in order to get more attention from viewers. Almost like a chimpanzee who discovered that it can get more attention by flinging shit at people. Ew, why would it?
And of course, even like the trad wife and all this other stuff. Oh, yeah, I got ran through in my 20s, but I'm a trad wife now. Or it's just crazy with all this pick-me stuff. So yeah.
I do that. I would never do that. Don't you ever dare compare me to that. Gotta admit, that's a pretty good analogy, though.
They can vote. Yes, please. Yes, please. They can get paid the same for work. 100%. They can initiate divorce whenever they want. Okay. They compete against men in the workforce.
Isn't competition with men just a natural side effect of women entering the workforce? Did you think that men don't compete with each other already? You do realize that corporate America is just one massive dick measuring contest, right? I'm so excited to announce that I will be joining Deloitte's Transaction Advisory Services team this coming fall. 45 likes. I am absolutely thrilled to be working with the brilliant people at JP Morgan's investment banking division. 98 likes. Here is my 3,000 likes. I'm just saying, women, please keep entering the workforce. The ratio here is so whack.
They can take a pill that ruins their fertility. They reject their femininity to try and be more like men. And they can kill their babies whenever they want. Nope, I'm out.
Hey, here's a wild concept. What if we allowed people to do what they want with their own bodies? I know this concept's a little far out for her because she also made a TikTok like this.
Trump didn't take away your rights. He gave rights back to the states. He actually made the federal government smaller and unable to infringe on more Americans' rights. What?
Yes, I fully agree that states have been given more rights, especially the right to take away rights from people. Also, like, yeah, the federal government might be smaller, but the state government is still a government. That's like jumping out of a big pot into a smaller, hotter, and worse pot. The one thing that sets these smaller creators apart from the more corporate style of Emily Wilson is that they really love to wear the pick-me side of their content on the nose. These creators are legitimately trying to find a boyfriend through their content. My family asked me what I was thankful for, and I said, I'm thankful for another year as a feminine woman.
Yeah, and you see all the social media, TikTok, Instagram. Yeah, and like, okay, oh, I'm a right-wing pick-me. Oh, yeah. And then a man that's a high caliber that earns, 6 figures, he's going to be like, do I want to date this woman? Or maybe she already has somebody. I don't know.
That respects men. Okay.
This music was generated with the tool I'm showing you today.
Wait, what? Get that tool.
Nerd. This is giving such big fedora energy. If a guy ever said what the opposite of this was, they would get laughed out the room. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for having such a lovely cat. I'm thankful for another year as a masculine man who respects women. It's like, there's nothing wrong with being a feminine woman, and there's nothing wrong with respecting men. But it's one of those things where if you say it out loud, you're clearly implying some sort of superiority complex to other women.
I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't want children. Where are all the good men at?
Okay, yeah, implying might have been a weak descriptor. This group of creators is so confusing to me. On one hand, they complain about being attacked and ostracized for expressing their conservative values and beliefs. And on the other hand, they themselves demean and attack women on the other side of the aisle for expressing their beliefs. They constantly strawman liberals while simultaneously portraying themselves as a caricature of what liberal people think alt-right people are like. And they constantly deny that their rights are being taken away while simultaneously giving up their own rights so easily and freely. Look, I'm born and raised in California, and I live in and love the city of San Francisco. So I've bled blue my entire life. And you could probably make the argument that I'm biased. And to be honest with you, I probably am. But what I don't understand is this constant need to belittle people who might not necessarily share the same worldview as you, even though you are constantly complaining that liberals don't get along with you. And that's why I despise these types of creators who are staunchly, if it's not my way, it's the highway, without giving any leeway or understanding or any room for discussion, and instead only try to trap people in an echo chamber so they can further sow division and rack up internet points. Maybe I'm the same way. I hope not, but what do I know? I'm just an embarrassing liberal dude at the end of the day. Anyways, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you in the next one.
All right, so yeah. So, Raylikesunshine. All right. So, that was crazy, but yeah. All those pick me ladies. Yay, pick me. Yeah, and I get it. So, yeah, and sometimes you have to just like carefully just watch and what you consume. All right. So, if any of you enjoyed Andy's content, please give me the HKO special. Help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And wherever you are, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video.